Good evening and welcome to this special meeting of the Council of the Town of Oakville. It's my pleasure to tell you that we're here for the largely ceremonial purpose of my speech about my status of the town report. And I have to say that we have regrets from Councillor Jonathan McNeice, who's traveling and couldn't be with us. There being no matters to be decided tonight, I'll dispense with calling for declarations of pecuniary interest, and I will proceed to deliver to you my thoughts and findings on the state of the town here in the closing months of 2025. Friends, neighbors, and colleagues, I thank you for being here, and I wish you a very good evening. I want to acknowledge that all of my council colleagues are here. I'm very pleased to see all the community leaders who are here. It's good to see so many familiar faces, and it's also good to see the many new faces. I look forward to this event every year. It's a time to gather, to reflect, and to share our goals for Oakville. We are united in our goal of creating a town that is green, safe, and welcoming for everyone. 200 years ago, Indigenous, Black, and white residents laid a foundation of harmony and potential. And today, we honor that legacy by our efforts to make Oakville a town that works for everyone. This gathering is a reminder. Oakville's story isn't written by one person. It's written by all of us, our families, our students, our business owners, our employees, our volunteers, our seniors. Together, we shape a town we can be proud of today and that future generations will thank us for tomorrow. Looking back on this tumultuous year, we see growth with care, neighbors looking out for each other, new families welcomed with open arms, progress powered by belonging and cooperation. Our sense of belonging goes beyond rankings, but I have to tell you, our rankings are very high and they're worth being proud of. In the Globe and Mail's study of 448 cities, Oakville ranked in Canada's top 10, and the Globe named Oakville Ontario's most livable community. We placed second in Canada for access to healthcare. We were third in Ontario for community vibrancy, fourth for education. And we were top 20 nationally as a place for raising children and for entrepreneurship. These results reflect daily life here, the quality that comes from the choices that we make together, listening to each other. It's no surprise to me that Oakville attracts so much talent. Deloitte finds that Oakville beats the GTHA in talent and technology. Companies come for our skilled workforce. Families choose our schools, our high-quality services, and our very well-developed sense of community. I heard this firsthand from Hasif, a co-op student in my office who's here tonight. His parents compared high schools across Ontario before deciding where to move. They chose Oakville, and from my experience, they chose well. Stories like his remind us how much our schools and our young people matter. I see that talent in our youth up close. In classrooms across town and in my office during co-op placements throughout the year, students bring creativity and drive. And let's be honest, spending your summer co-op working with the mayor does take some commitment. So that creativity really stood out in phase 2 of the mayor's Youth Climate Action Fund, which was supported by Bloomberg Philanthropies. We provided $100,000 for 22 youth-led climate projects. Students turned plastic bottles into 3D printer material, they tested self-driving shuttles, and they reimagined unused spaces as greenhouses. These are all steps, however small or large, toward a more sustainable and livable Oakville. We're building a community where young people don't just learn about the future, they help to create it. And livability drives our economy. For the 7th year in a row, Site Selection Magazine named Oakville one of the best places to invest in Canada. That reflects itself in new investment, expansions of existing businesses, and new jobs. Perhaps the standout this year is that Siemens is investing $150 million to establish its global artificial intelligence manufacturing technologies research and development center for battery production here, bringing up to 90 jobs and strengthening Ontario's clean energy leadership. Siemens is also piloting solar-powered sensors with the town and our Oakville Fire Department for ultra-early wildfire detection to measure smoke, air quality, humidity, and temperature to protect high-risk areas. That's innovation in serving the economy and the environment. And if Siemens can reduce wildfires, that will actually, we've now learned from the bad air that we had from the bad wildfires earlier this year, solving a problem on the other side of the country actually improves things here when we get cleaner air as a result of it. Siemens also pitches in locally. Their employees have volunteered every year that they've been here, planting hundreds of trees to grow our canopy along with the rest of us. Now, I think that shows that our global companies know how to make a local difference. Their investment matters to Oakville, and it also matters to Canada's auto and clean tech sectors. Our economy depends on auto manufacturing here in Oakville, and indeed in Ontario. Along the QEW near Ford Drive, you can see the transformation at the Oakville Assembly Plant with the new stamping facility. Our staff are working very closely with Ford to ensure they meet all of their tight deadlines so the first new trucks roll off of the line on time next year. Ford is important to our economy. The Great Recession of 2008 threatened to end Canada's automotive industry. I created the Auto Mayors Caucus. The Auto Mayors Caucus is now 46 mayors strong. We cover 25% of Canada's population. With strong support from our economic development team, we bring industry and governments together. We advocate for policies that protect auto jobs and strengthen our manufacturing sector. And that advocacy has delivered results. Last fall, the federal government adjusted its electric vehicle mandate after hearing our united voice. In February, when proposed auto tariffs threatened our integrated North American auto sector, then Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne asked me to connect with U.S. mayors about the risks to both sides of the border. My calls revealed the potential for an Auto Mayors Caucus of North America, and the Auto Mayors and I are working on that now. We also teamed up across the border through the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Cities Initiative. I joined mayors from Chicago, Rochester, Hamilton, Milwaukee, Toronto, and St. Catharines, and we stood together against tariffs and highlighted the harm that they would bring to the Great Lakes region and our highly integrated cross-border economy. Cross-border cooperation is a great strength, and we rely on it. We are also prepared locally for changes to the tariff regime that we operate under. I asked staff to form a tariff effects task force. Council approved the recommendations from the task force. Council and I and your town will be ready if or when the trade rules change. We have local business success stories to tell as well tonight. In 2024, we welcomed Vital Bio, Orange EV Canada, and Worley. Ford, KPMG, and Dana Canada invested in new innovation facilities. GL Chemtech expanded with a new lab to serve pharma and biotech from early research to clinical trials. Our film sector grew too. The Hollywood Reporter featured Oakville as an up-and-coming filming location, noting our former Centennial Pool now serves as a Hollywood-quality water tank for aquatic scenes. And we rolled out the red carpet for productions by Fox, Netflix, and Disney. Another homegrown success is Geotab, celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. What began in an Oakville basement now leads the world. 2,900 employees, 5 million connected vehicles, 600 plus patents, and the #1 commercial telematics vendor for the 4th straight year. Oakville's talent and climate for business grows world leaders. To build on this momentum, our 2025 to 2029 economic development plan focuses on retention, expansion, and strategic partnerships. It streamlines approvals, updates land inventories, and improves investment readiness, backed by among the lowest commercial property taxes and lowest development charges in the Greater Toronto-Hamilton area. Oakville is one of the region's most competitive places to do business. Now, as we increase our economic growth, pressure grows on our mobility. And we have a response, and we have met the challenge. From January to August 2025, Oakville Transit delivered nearly 3.2 million rides, a record to that point in the year. We expect to pass 5 million rides by year end, the most in our history, and almost 1 million more than 2019, the year before the pandemic. Youth now account for 31% of our rides, and that is, I think, almost entirely because of the decision we made to make transit free for youth. We also made it free for seniors, and seniors are also a major part of our ridership. And since May, Caravan has also been free for people with a Presto. I'll just pause to point out that some of the revenue that we get from the higher levels of government, the province and the country, Canada, is based on how much transit ridership we have. So by adding a rider to our score, we, even though they don't pay, our revenue actually goes up a bit. So there's no real penalty there. We're also transitioning to cleaner transportation. This year we added 15 large electric buses, and our total is now 30. 13 more will arrive by December. By 2026, half the fleet will be electric. To finish the job, we will continue to seek federal and provincial support, and we remain grateful to the nation and the province for the support that has made it possible for us to get to 50%. Now, growth in our economy also drives a demand for housing, and growth must serve the people who live here. We need affordable homes for young families. We need homes that have parks and schools nearby. We need neighborhoods that feel like Oakville. Our housing needs assessment study this year shows that our supply is not matching our demand, especially for people aged 20 to 34. Too many struggle to find a home they can afford. So we are acting so that every generation will be able to see a future here. Work is underway on Oakville's first community planning permit bylaw to simplify approvals. A housing action plan will expand options and improve affordability. Oakville already protects tenants better than any other city in Ontario. If you're evicted for renovations, you have the right to return with the same rent or compensation. In September, the Ontario Professional Planners Institute gave our planning staff the 2025 Public Education Award for their white paper on using Planning Act tools to enable more affordable housing. Our CAO, Jane Closey, led an Ontario Big City Mayors Working Group to standardize housing data and metrics. It's hard to believe, but if everybody counts housing starts and completions differently, then nobody can really tell what's going on in the aggregate. And it's an accomplishment that CAO Closey was able to bring so many other big cities to the table and get everyone to agree that this is something worth doing. Members of our planning and data management departments will present this work nationally in November. We'll show how Oakville uses digital tools to guide policy and plan growth. The province also recognized our progress on housing. Municipal Affairs and Housing Minister Rob Flack was here recently and delivered a $13.3 million check from the Building Faster Fund after we achieved 134% of our 2024 housing target. That means that over the last 2 years, the first 2 years of the 10-year housing target regime, we have exceeded our total target by about 10 to 12%. But we're focused on more than the numbers. We're also protecting the character of our neighborhoods by directing growth to the right places. One such place is Midtown, around the Oakville GO station. Midtown has the potential to grow with new homes, jobs, and public spaces over the next 50 years. It'll be slow. Our plan for Midtown includes new parks, walkable streets, and better connections for cars, buses, and trains. Our own official plan amendment 70, when approved by Ontario, will apply to whatever part of Midtown is not in the courts under dispute from applicants already fighting with us. The province's governance letter, when they took over about 5% of Midtown, listed the TOC's objectives. Our planning staff reviewed the province's first TOC proposal and found that it fell short on expanding affordable housing. They were adding none. And it also fell short on providing for transit station infrastructure. They were not generating any money for that. Our own official plan amendment for Midtown, number 70, shows how Midtown can meet provincial objectives while also creating a more livable, more vibrant, and greener community. We will carefully review and comment when the province releases its updated proposal. In August, the Minister of Infrastructure told us that that would be coming imminently. I now understand that it's coming sometime this month. Whenever it does, we'll have 60 days to review and comment, and we will hope that they will heed our advice when we do. I want to note that Midtown is one of 9 growth areas in Oakville. All of our growth is not going to Midtown. One of those 9 growth nodes has 30% more capacity than Midtown has. We direct growth across our town to areas well served by transit. This is in line with our Livable Oakville plan and the good planning principle of focusing density around transit nodes. This principle is why, when Glen Abbey was threatened with inappropriate development, we succeeded in stopping it. Large development is going where it makes sense, near transit, not on the stable, established neighborhood streets where we live. This way, we fight sprawl, we protect farmland, we defend the greenbelt, and we conserve the character of our stable, established neighborhood streets. It also makes environmental sense. Development around transit nodes reduces congestion and cuts emissions compared to what happens when we sprawl. So for years, environmental defense and greenbelt supporters have urged municipalities to grow up, not out, and that is our path. We protect forests, creeks, and green space. We invest in clean energy and stronger stormwater systems. We build for the future while staying true to what makes Oakville livable today. As we plan for growth and sustainability, we never want to lose sight of something residents tell me is their top concern: safety. Council and I know, for example, that speed cameras have both fans and critics. Whatever the province will legislate, we will continue to invest in our neighborhood traffic safety program to keep people safe. Oakville has long been Canada's safest large municipality, according to Statistics Canada. But safety statistics don't tell the whole story. As Halton Regional Police Chief Stephen Tanner says, if you or your family are a victim of crime, your crime rate just went up 100%. And that doesn't feel very good to anybody who experiences it. Friends of mine have experienced it, and I know vicariously what that feels like from them. Every day, news alerts report that violent crimes are happening across the GTA. And for many, it feels too close to home. There are times when we have the same reports here in Oakville, and those are too many. Any are too many. A break-in, a stolen car from a family's garage, or a home invasion, these incidents rob people and neighborhoods of their sense of safety. Halton Police, I'm glad to say, are responding. And we, as councillors, are responding too. For 2 years in a row, we have, at the Halton Regional Council, given the, last year and this year we're going to, give the Halton Regional Police Service big increases in their budget to increase their ability to protect us and keep us safe. And the Halton Regional Police Service Board has a plan to reduce property crime, cut auto theft by half, and maintain a strong focus on preventing intimate partner violence and other serious crimes. And they're working hard to improve their clearance rates to regain the status they had up till 2 years ago of solving more crime than any other major police force. Residents will hear directly from police leaders in the months ahead at community safety meetings that I am organizing. Sign up for my newsletter by visiting oakville.ca/mayor to get the details. On a related note, Milton Mayor Gord Krantz and I brought a motion at Regional Council calling for more provincial resources for bail enforcement, Crown prosecutors, judicial capacity, and the long-needed new Halton Courthouse. Council passed it unanimously. 2 days later, the province announced plans for a modern, accessible courthouse here in Oakville are going ahead. That's probably the fastest action we've ever gotten from any resolution we ever passed. We also urged the federal government to move quickly on bail reform. The Justice Minister has announced legislation. Now we just hope for timely action. We expect a lot from our police and from our firefighters, and they deliver. Last year, Oakville Fire responded to more than 9,000 calls. They were dispatched 14,000 times, and they prevented tragedies through more than 1,600 inspections and broad safety campaigns. They lead on inclusion in the fire business, or maybe it's the firefighting business, let's specify. We have the Blaze Fire Academy for youth, the Fire Service Women Ontario Symposium, and a first ever fire prevention officer mentorship program with Cree Nations in northern Quebec. Public safety also depends on strong health care. Oakville Trafalgar Memorial Hospital has shelled in space for growth that we paid for. Halton Healthcare has requested funding to fit out that space, adding 111 acute medical beds within 24 months, the fastest any hospital build can add beds. I have put a motion before this council for next week, seconded by Councillor Navnanda, calling on the province to approve and fund this in the fall economic statement. Investing in healthcare is investing in peace of mind. Keeping Oakville strong also depends on strong finances. Oakville Enterprises Corporation, OEC, as we should be calling it for brief, is a key engine of our fiscal success, thanks to our long-term partnership with Enbridge that increased our working capital to grow our investments. Our dividends are growing as a result, $6.1 million last year, $12.2 million this year, and a goal of $20 million annually by 2029 at the completion of their current business plan. OEC operates service companies for utilities and clean energy projects like geo-exchange, hydroelectric, and solar, among other things. Looking ahead, Council has begun consultations on the 2026 budget. Our goal is a balanced plan with a tax increase at or below 3.5%. Our budget goal is lower than our neighboring municipalities are planning. Our town staff use performance-based program budget management to create efficiencies and invest where residents see value. And as an example of efficiency seeking, we take advantage of all group purchasing opportunities to save money. We even create them with other cities. And today, our staff and I met with Supply Ontario, which under Oakville MPP and Minister Stephen Crawford is expanding opportunities for all municipalities to benefit from the purchasing power of the province of Ontario. We are dedicated to keeping Oakville as affordable as possible. We're on track to deliver all of the projects in Council's unanimous strategic plan. The belonging projects, such as the Parks, Recreation, and Library Plan to guide our investments, and the Special Events Plan are finalized. Our Culture Days participation grew, making us the first in Canada among mid-sized cities with our almost 300 events. For our environmental projects, our Rainwater Management Plan advanced, and our Climate Action Progress Report is almost finished. In our accountability projects, we are about to report on our performance on inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility. We've had clean audits every year that I've been your mayor, and we have we've published on our website the strategic plan dashboard. Our growth projects are all well in hand. The Midtown Review was completed, and the Transportation Master Plan is nearing a finish. Our progress also depends on the strength and quality of our infrastructure. This summer, we resurfaced more than 30 roads and invested $42.5 million in infrastructure projects across Oakville. Council endorsed streetscape studies for Bronte and Kerr villages. The funding will be considered in the 2026 budget ahead of us in the next few weeks. These projects will make our neighborhoods vibrant, accessible, and welcoming. And across all 7 wards, results are visible. In Ward 1, the Burl Oak grade separation continues with partial funding from us. Our Bronte Beach improvements began in the spring. In Ward 2, Coronation Park's renewed playground opened, our first fully accessible, inclusive play space. In Ward 3, the Wallace Park redevelopment is moving ahead, and the Royal Windsor Drive Bridge rehabilitation continues, and all of us who use it hope it finishes soon. In Ward 4, our upgraded playgrounds and parks are there for the enjoyment of our residents, and the repairs at Glen Abbey Park tennis courts have begun. In Ward 5, Ridgeview Park splash pad and playground consultations are done, and the River Oaks Community Center rink replacement is advancing. Sunningdale Park's planning is also progressing. I should pause and say, we consult like crazy because it's the same thing as measure twice, cut once, and so it takes a little longer to get a project done, but in the end, more people are happy, we hope. In Ward 6, we're doing the upgrades at Foggerwood Pool, new tennis courts at Valley Brook Park, and the Iroquois Ridge Community Center renovations are nearly done. In Ward 7, we've opened Parkettes, Courtleigh, and Dartmouth, and we have 2 more scheduled for next year. And across several wards, the Crosstown multi-use trail expansion will be done by the end of winter 2025. Today, we celebrate the 130th anniversary of our Oakville Public Library. Over half of Oakville households have a library card, and our branches saw 1.2 million visits last year. Oakville Public Library continues to be one of the most valued institutions in our town. We see that every 2 years in our citizen survey, where you rank our services according to how much you like them. It's Oakville Public Library, #1. Looking to 2026, we will open the 16-mile sports complex, our 7th community center, with a new library and a community park. This will be a fabulous hub for recreation, learning, and connection. When I meet visitors to our town and talk to other mayors, I hear praise for the quality of our roads, our facilities, our parks, and our trails, especially our trails. When I travel, I meet Oakville residents proud of our town and of their families' accomplishments. Our reputation for livability has traveled around the world. For many, Oakville is the hometown they wish they'd grown up in. Together, we can keep it that way for future residents and for our youth. Before I close, I want to recognize our staff and volunteers whose daily work makes Oakville what it is. Now, one last story captures our spirit. Local chefs Rafael Covarrubias and Victoria Rinsma. Victoria, at Hexagon since 2018, won the San Pellegrino Young Chef Canadian Regional Award and will represent Canada in Milan at the Worlds. Rafa came to Canada at 17, helped open Hexagon in 2017, and by 25, he placed 5th in the world when he won Michelin's Young Chef Award. He also helped Hexagon earn its Michelin star. And this year, Hexagon retained its star, and Oakville's Seven Enoteca earned a Bib Gourmand, also from Michelin. Their journeys in our town show how Oakville brings together talent from across Canada and around the world and nurtures ambition, creativity, and success. As Rafa said, we live in a community of many backgrounds and we learn from each other every day. Not every place offers that. This is Oakville, opportunity, diversity, and shared success. So let me close with thanks to everyone here, to those watching, and to everyone who helps make Oakville so strong and successful. Together, we can rise and will rise to every challenge. With an entrepreneurial spirit, we will keep moving onward and upward, as we always said at the end of every meeting when I was creating YTV. Thank you very much. Council, would two of you like to move and second receipt? Councilor Longo and Councilor Chisholm, thank you. Any objection? There being none, Mr. Clerk, that carries. And I also need a mover and seconder for consideration and reading of the confirmatory bylaw. Councilor Lischina, thank you, and Councilor Haslett-Teal, thank you. Any objection? Mr. Clerk, there being none. The bylaws are considered, read, and passed. And ladies and gentlemen and colleagues on council, we have finished the work of this meeting, and I thank you very much for the opportunity to work with you. I look forward to the next time. I'm myself going to stay for anybody who wants to ask questions or chat, and I wish everybody a very good evening. Good night.